today. The first one is from Drainage District number 79 in Washington Township. We have a blowout on the east line of the roadway, and the west line is not raining. It's turned in by Dan Michelson. Next one is from Drainage District number 124 of Deer Creek Township. It says a very large hole. Fix soon. That's turned in by Dana Hotz. And the third one is from Drainage District number 327 in Newark Township. It says we have a blowout in the field in the road row, the west side of the ditch, mile and a half south of Vincent, and that's turned in by our own Mr. Keith Thinkflaw.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion we approve the drainage repairs.
Second.
A motion second, any discussion on that? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item number 2 passes. Item number 3 is to approve the hiring and employment of Corey Wood, part-time correctional officer, effective May 12, 2014, at the rate at $14.50 per hour, as per the recommendation of Steve Halifax, jail administrator.
Mr. Chairman, I move item 3.
Second motion, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion second. Do we have any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 4 is to receive and place on file the manure management plan for Oak Lane 1 in section 4 of Bacon Township.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move item 4.
I'll second.
The motion second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item number 4 passes. Item number 5 is to approve and authorize the chair to sign the second amendment to the cooperative reimbursement agreement between Webster County Political Subdivision, Department of Human Services, Bureau of Collections.
Mr. Chairman, I move item number 5. Second.
We have a motion and a second. We have a discussion on this. I believe this is friendly entry with confidentiality.
Yes, is your memo of agreement spells out that those two confidential matters is supposed to stay required.
Okay. Do we have any other discussion on this item?
No.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item number 5 passes. Item number 6 is to approve the lease agreement with the Webster County Improvement Corporation for the campground at the Gypsum City OHV Park.
Mr. Chairman, I move item 6.
I'll second the item, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion and a second. We have any discussion. Who do we have here?
Good morning. Matt Cosgrove, Conservation Director.
Good to see you.
Thanks. What you have hopefully before you is a long document, a lease agreement that we've been working on with Webster County Improvement Corporation, who now owns this property. It was recently donated from U.S. Gypsum to the Webster County Improvement Corporation. So it's about a 40-acre parcel that we will be leasing. The lease term runs the same as our cooperative maintenance agreement with the park itself. So it's a 25-year agreement with that maintenance, and this term follows that as well.
Questions or comments from Mr. Cosgrove?
Is it automatic for you to do after 25 years?
We'll have the option, yes.
I would have to say, I think that, 25 years and $1 a year is pretty darn good negotiating.
Pretty good rate.
Yeah.
City did that with us.
Okay. Any other comments? See none?
Oh, did you have some with the OHV park this weekend?
We did. The National Off-Highway Vehicle Conservation Council, we held a workshop out there on Friday and Saturday. So that's a national organization that travels around the United States and basically promotes the safe use of motorized recreation. So they brought in a workshop team while Trails Unlimited, the Forest Service is here building. So they were able to see trail construction on the ground and see what's been completed so far out there. They're hoping to be here now through mid-June and then wrap up construction. And everybody, we had people from Florida, Michigan, Wisconsin, all over the place, and they were extremely impressed with the riding opportunities that are going to be out there. There's a group, 4 people from county in Michigan that came, and they're looking to do the same thing on a mined-out piece of property close to Detroit, and they were amazed at what has occurred out there, so they were really excited to see that.
Very good. Okay.
Thank you for all your work out there.
Yeah, that's great. I'll call for a vote. All in favor of approving the lease agreement with the Webster County Improvement Corporation, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 7 is to approve and authorize the chair to sign the addendum to the contract for library services for Webster County.
Move item number 7.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion on this? Seems not so. I thought Ryan was going to make a comment.
Just move around.
Just move around. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item number 7 passes. Item number 8 is to approve the appointment of Barb Knudsen as a rural member of the Duncan Public Library Board of Trustees for the remainder of the term expiring June 30th, 2015.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move item 8. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion on this item? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 9, receive and place on file a letter regarding the Airport Industrial Park subdivision.
I move item 9.
Second motion, Mr. Chairman.
A motion and a second. Do we have any discussion on this? Well, I would like to say that what we have here is a letter from a developer that is addressing the language in zoning that refers to the change in language for setbacks from what was adopted in 1997 and what was adopted in 2009. And he's asking the supervisors to grandfather the subdivision into, so that it can be accepted with the setbacks as developed in the subdivision. And I don't know whether the supervisors have the authority to grandfather a subdivision in there, and I would like that we turn this over to the county attorney's office to give us an opinion as to whether we can make that action or not.
I think you said make an exception for it. I'm not going to call it an exception if that makes any difference.
That's really something that we would have to look into when we go out to do that. Is this, just from my knowledge, is this the same issue that you and I previously discussed?
Right.
I think my initial opinion on that is that the board has the authority to do that by ordinance. But my thoughts on that and Corey's thoughts on that were whether or not that was something the board wanted to start making a practice of doing. If you're talking about doing it countywide, I don't think it would have much of an issue than if you were doing it for the one who's taking their parcel of property. So I think that's something you need to consider is whether or not you want it to impact the entire county and the setbacks being basically grandfathered into the original ordinances when that parcel of property was developed, or if you want to parcel it out individual pieces of property. So, I mean, that's something we certainly be glad to look at and help give you more of a concrete answer. I think that's something the board needs to think about in addressing this particular issue.
I agree with that. I'm afraid of doing anything with it because you just said that, but at least we've taken it, officially taken a look. And I agree with you to have them, the county attorney, do an actual opinion on it. And then in the meantime, I think we can put our fingers crossed that he annexes it to the city.
The interesting thing is that annexation into the city would make a moot point because the setbacks do comply with what's in the city.
It's a very unusual situation. Normally, the county rules are less restrictive than the city, and in this case, the cities are less restrictive than the county. But I just have a problem with grandfathering it in, because then I think we have to grandfather everything in we've done.
Well, I'm really curious to know what, the language was, everything was in this piece, this development, this subdivision that was filed back in the late 70s, early 80s, was in compliance even through the adoption of the zoning ordinance in 1997. And it was in compliance, everything was done. And the zoning language was changed in 2009 to go from 25-foot setback to a 50-foot setback. So, you know, what changed, especially in regard to this particular property, but other pieces of property that might have been done correctly, you know, and now would not be in compliance. And so, you know, we have done something through the adoption of an ordinance that has caused an effect on someone's property. In other words, we've essentially reduced the buildable size of their property. Is that not correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So, you know, what has changed that has necessitated the change in the setback?
I think it may be, underlined may be, that the current mood of zoning in Iowa, for example, counties in Iowa is to have a 50-foot setback. It certainly, or hopefully, was a discussion item back when it was changed from 25 to 50. From my perspective, I'd be most interested in what the reasoning was at that time for going to 50 versus 25, basically saying the same thing you are. I'd like to have that explanation. If there's a darn good reason for it, then I would hesitate to change it or even consider change. But in the same breath, I don't know where the 50-foot helps or prevents a problem that 25-foot.
I think a big, you know, he can resolve this issue very easily by just voluntarily annexing himself into the city. And my understanding is that conversation's already going on, so.
But that's one.
Yeah.
We may have it, we may not.
Right, and we also need to look at, okay, that's an easy thing to say, but if you're the property owner, you know, when you look at annexation into the city, you're looking at a different taxing structure. So it's very easy for us to take someone else's money and say, you can pay more taxes and it'll work. You know, one of the things that I look at is I look at the language difference here from 2000, or what was done in 2009 and what was accepted in 1997. And, you know, as a private businessman, you know, we have a tendency to kind of resist over regulation on things. And so that's where the question really is in my mind, you know, the 50-foot setback to the 25-foot setback. You know, what are we really gaining for the public good in this?
And that's totally true, but that's where I go back to, I really suggested to this individual that I think the appropriate way he should have done this was to request the zoning board to reopen and relook at this issue and determine whether it should go back to 25 or 50, which would be for all of these parcels. And that's where I don't like looking at it just for one parcel. And that group may decide it shouldn't be 50 feet, it should be 25. And
So this person does have that option.
they have that option, I believe, right? I mean,
They have that option, and they also have, in conversation with this gentleman's attorney, I informed him, ultimately, they have a right to appeal the zoning board's decision to the district court. And from our office's point of view, it may be more appropriate for the district court to make the decision rather than this board changing that for this individual. If this board wants to change it countywide, I don't see a problem, but if the board's gonna start doing it on a parcel
fence line, for example. I could see where in a rural area where you would want a grain bin, for example, to sit back, or a machine shed to sit back far enough that you had clear view on an two intersecting roads. It may be that simple, if that's what it was, and now it's causing a situation or a problem. But an analysis of that, I think it deserves at least some attention to find out what originally happened.
So we've already got the letter, he's given us his opinion where we at now.
Well, the motion is to receive and place on file, and that's all we need to do at this time. It's in our discretion when we ask the, it sounds like, from what I hear, the board is inclined to encourage the property owner to make his appeal to the zoning board, planning and zoning, and get that changed.
And we're basing that on what Ryan's already given us as an opinion, or do we need more of an opinion from Ryan?
That's a good question.
Well, quite frankly, the letter that you're voting to place on file now, I have not seen.
Okay.
I don't know if Ms. Coleman's seen that.
So we'll set in place on file, and then we will give copy to the county attorney's office. So we'll accept that amendment to the motion. Okay. Very good. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Mr. Fletcher, just for my clarification, would the board like some historical information on why this ordinance was passed the way it was?
I think it certainly would be nice.
Specific in that area.
Yeah, and I will get in touch with Ms. Lizer and see if she can help me straighten it.
That would be
All
great.
right.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Now comes the time that we've all been waiting for, and that's citizens' opportunity to address the board with items that are not on the agenda. Step forward and state your name, please.
My name's Dave Papps, and I've been told this isn't the place to come talk about road maintenance. What do you find?
This is your opportunity to address the board.
Address the board, yes.
I live on the corner of Baxter Avenue and 170th Street. That's a mile away from Calhoun County. 170th Street continues into, as 170th Street into Calhoun County. I think Calhoun County overdoes it a little bit, but since October, November, they did their 170th Street like 3 times, October, November. They did it in December, they did it in January, they did it in February, and they've done it twice a month since then. 170th Street has been graded once in that time in Webster County. Shouldn't we have a regular maintenance schedule on some of this stuff?
Well, the appropriate person is the county engineer,
I've been there.
okay? And
But
haven't
you
received.
guys work together, don't you?
We do.
That's all I want to say. I think there should be a little more regular maintenance on the roads. Baxter Avenue's been done twice at that time. 170th Street's been done once.
I can comment. I'm aware of your calls. I don't think I've ever talked one-on-one with you,
No.
face-to-face, at least recently, maybe some right-of-way acquisition several years ago. But I acknowledge you called the office.
I stopped in.
Stop in, and that's important, and we logged that in, and Gary, my maintenance foreman, and myself are following up on some of these issues, and we're taking it very seriously.
You know, like I said, I think Calhoun County overdoes it. But, you know, I'd like to see more than once in 7 months.
Right. But I intend,
The-
there are many things going on right now that are attempting to address this issue, and I'm gonna continue to follow.
I'm talking about the maintainer.
Yep.
And
Road maintenance.
it's been done twice with the truck this spring. But I would think the maintainer would be, that's the purpose of maintainer.
Sure, yes.
Currently, how many maintainers does the county have?
14.
And we have how many miles of gravel roads?
800 is about 50.
No, I
realize all
I was
that.
just at the city council meeting last night in Galway, and they brought up the same thing. They'd like to figure out a way to have more of a regular schedule. I said, I'll look in to see how many we have and how many miles we do.
Right.
But the gentleman said the exact same thing. The truck has came out twice. He anything was put down doesn't take the rumble strips out of the stop signs and everything.
It helps. I'm not saying it doesn't help.
Okay, but I
Yeah,
understand that.
the truck is a temporary issue, it helps smooth things out, but the true way to maintain a road is with a motor grader.
Right.
And you have to cut it, but you need proper material, you need moisture, and you need due diligence of an operator. And
I agree.
Duties, and I'm looking into that,
Okay.
and more than some people might think.
No.
Randy's looking into it, I know.
Yeah, I just want to say one more thing. I had to take my combine to Manson, and I take that 170th Street last fall. And I got out on the gravel road and I couldn't go more than 10 or 12 mile an hour with the combine because it started bouncing and swerving back and forth. And as soon as I got on the Calhoun Road, everything fine, wide open. That's only 18 mile an hour, but I couldn't go more than 10 or 12 on the WebsterCounty Road because of the harmonics and the loose gravel.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm done.
He's looking, he's looking into it. We have to do that.
Do we have anyone else care to address the board today? Seeing none, we'll move on to Board of Supervisors Committee reports.
I don't have anything at this time next week, I know.
I plan for a meeting tonight, everybody's welcome to attend, and, we won't make them up, so.
Nothing this week.
Nothing.
Oh, my goodness. I'll encourage I will announce or let everyone know that the Greater Flint Growth Alliance will be having a stakeholder meeting tomorrow for affected parties around the Iowa's Crossroads of Rural Innovation. And just to keep everyone informed, we think it's especially important that our taxpayers understand what all is going on out there, and that we're not trying to do things without public knowledge on that. So at this time, we have a 10:30. What's that? Oh, yeah, I'll allow the claims. Yeah. I'll take a motion to allow claims.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion second to allow claims. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Now I'll call a brief recess, and at 10:30 we will reconvene.